going on, guys? It's your boy John the Liquidator coming back with breaking news hot off the press. Humpty Dumpty himself has fallen off the damn wall. That is Deshaun Watson. Now, Cleveland fans, I got news to tell you. I've been telling y'all this thing was going to be bad since January, bro. I told y'all. When it came to Deshaun Watson playing, there's nothing they could tell me to convince me that Deshaun Watson was going to be better than SHEDEUR Sanders. Not in this lifetime, and damn sure not the next one. Deshaun Watson is done. Horrible. And for the NFL executives to put SHEDEUR as the worst quarterback in the league is beyond me. But there is reports coming out of training camp that Deshaun Watson looks bad. Specifically in 7-on-7, 11-on-11, all football activity. He is not it. But I'm telling you right now, do not be surprised if they name him the starter. I've been telling y'all this. The Browns are going to tank the season. Now, I can't definitively put a finger on it, but I think they is, bro. And if they start Deshaun Watson or even Dillon Gabriel. Now, we know Dillon Gabriel's name has been being tossed around this week. Where the hell is Dillon Gabriel coming from? Left field like he kumbaya or something. It's the QB tracker of today's day 6 of training camp. SHEDEUR, once again, spectacular day. 21 of 25. Deshaun Watson, 5 of 11. Dillon Gabriel, 4 of 7 with 1 interception. And to my knowledge, I do not believe SHEDEUR threw an interception yet, bro. That is, since training camp has been being conducted. Guys, look at SHEDEUR numbers. Look at everything SHEDEUR has been doing thus far. We heard Tom Monken state earlier the growth of SHEDEUR. Yes, there's growth. SHEDEUR has been in the lab working with somebody behind the scenes. And when it come out, y'all gonna be like, damn, John Ben told me, because I still got sources. I just ain't got to speak on it no more. I don't want no validation. Just watch. And I'm telling you right now, if the Browns start SHEDEUR Sanders to start this season, they're going to the playoffs. They're going to the playoffs. I'm saying this now. If they start SHEDEUR, they're going to the damn playoffs.
With him, and he was out there throwing to some guys, including Harold Fannin, which was another interesting development because Harold hasn't been practicing this offseason. He has been recovering from an injury, and we haven't seen him out there. So I thought it was very significant that Deshaun came back up here to throw, to train, and I think to show this football team and this coaching staff that he means business here.
Well, as far as I know, SHEDEUR never left. So why am I giving him credit when SHEDEUR never left? I want SHEDEUR to start. Damn it, Mary Kay.
Well, I don't know that SHEDEUR is here right now. I do think, and maybe he is, but I don't think he is. I think he might be back in Dallas right now. I'm not 100% certain. But I think this was a situation where mostly everybody is cleared out, and Deshaun just kind of came back to really show that he's committed to this thing and that he has no intentions of giving up the reins.
You know, I think we've gotten a couple of things confused here. Not you. I'm talking about guys on the radio here, where it's like Mary Kay Cabot joining us on the show. I think it is acceptable that SHEDEUR would start the season as the backup quarterback, but I don't think it's preferable. I don't think the best thing for SHEDEUR is to start for the rest of his career for 15 years and become a Hall of Famer. But I also think it is an acceptable thing with a new head coach and a new offense and everything that he got put behind last year that, hey, it makes sense to, if they had to start Deshaun Watson this season, knowing that probably SHEDEUR is going to have to come in at some point and some point sooner than later.
It will be interesting to see how it does play out because there's one dynamic here that I think is very unusual, and that is the fact that Deshaun will probably be more well-received on the road than he will be at home. There could be a bit of a hostile environment at home if he's starting and SHEDEUR is over there on the sidelines. So we'll have to see how that plays out, and I think we'll get a little bit of a taste of it in preseason because I think both of those guys probably will play some in those home preseason games. But for Deshaun to start perhaps 6 of the first 9 on the road, that could really work in his favor and might work in the Browns' favor at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? I mean, if it works out that way, maybe it would even be better for SHEDEUR to sort of hang back a little bit, get the lay of the land, see how things are going to work out the kinks in the offense, and then come in at some point during the season. But I have no idea if it's going to work out that way. SHEDEUR could easily win this starting job. I don't want to say easily, but I mean, he is right in the thick of it. He has a bona fide chance to win the starting job.
Do you think the offense changes depending on who wins the job, or do you think Todd Monken is doing his best to make sure that he's got an offense that both of these quarterbacks can capitalize on?
Well, there will be changes. There will be nuances depending on who starts. Deshaun Watson, obviously, is more of a mobile quarterback. I think he would run more RPOs. I think he would call more designed runs. I think there would be, just a different nuance to this offense. But SHEDEUR has demonstrated that he absolutely can run the keepers and the rollouts, the bootlegs and things like that. So I don't think it's going to have to be drastically different, but you will call a different game for both of those guys.
Mary Kay, are you flying in first class or with the general populace?
I wish I was in first class. No, I am with the general populace, as I always am. And I feel so bad about this. I just wasn't thinking about the announcements. I thought I could get onto the plane nice and early, and we could get through this. So
perfectly fine. Okay, so when Ryan Grigson got hired originally, I'll never forget Lima baiting me into ripping Ryan Grigson because I think that he's the main reason why Andrew Luck retired early with the poor drafting and refusal to help across the offensive line. I'm an offensive line guy, obviously. But it didn't seem that he caused any bit of a problem at all his first stop here. He's back. What role does he help out with Andrew Berry now that he's back in the fold?
I think everything. Coaching, personnel, you name it. Mostly personnel, of course, because he's a former general manager and a long, long time personnel exec. The thing to remember about Ryan Grigson is the fact that he's been associated with winning teams throughout his entire career. I think it's something like 21 out of 26 winning seasons that he's been associated with. So he knows what he's seeing. He knows what he's talking about. He's learned from his mistakes. He is a confidant and a friend to Andrew Berry. Those guys are thought partners. They get along really well. I think Ryan keeps things light. If you guys get a chance to know him a little bit, he's a really cool, fun guy to talk to. I did a feature story on him in 2020 where he talked about how he learned from all of those mistakes that he made in Indy, where, he had guys calling him out for, just being difficult to work with and whatnot. And he learned from all of that, and I think he's imparted a lot of that wisdom onto Andrew Berry.
What do you think of the brain trust as it stands now with some of the changes that have been made over the last few years? Obviously, we know DePodesta is gone, but Chris Polian, even getting the help of Telesco, I think, with the War Room. Do you think they've kind of reinvented themselves on the fly? They've also lost some, personnel guys as well.
Well, I think that Andrew Berry has surrounded himself with a lot of really bright football minds. As you mentioned, Tom Telesco, Ryan Grigson, Chris Polian. Then, of course, he has his own assistant general managers in Catherine Hickman and Glenn Cook. So there are a lot of really – and Jimmy Ray. So there are a lot of really, really smart guys in this building, and they really are – it takes a village, and they're putting their heads together and coming up with the best roster that they possibly can. And I think that you've seen this in the last two seasons, how it's actually played out and how they've had two amazing drafts.
Mary Kay Cabot joining us here on the Wise Heart Right, We Make It Right, call Kyle Right hotline. Does Parker Brailsford, he's a fifth-round pick, does he really have a chance to start this season at center for the Cleveland Browns, like week one?
Well, he does, and I think that the hope was that he would demonstrate he was ready for that kind of an assignment.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think coming out of spring ball, I actually think that Elton Jenkins has the inside track to start at center right now. Now, if Parker's going to get that job, he's going to really have to show that he's ready for it, and some of it might depend on if they're starting SHEDEUR. Because would you want a starting center and your starting quarterback to be two rookies when you also have a rookie at left tackle? It might be a little too rookie-centric in that case. So I think there's a world in which they want to go more veteran there. You might have to have Elton Jenkins sliding the protections, and doing those kinds of veteran types of things. So we'll see, but I know that they really like Parker Brailsford, and I wouldn't be surprised if he starts at some point this season.
All right, Mary Kay, did the Browns dodge a bullet with the Sorsby ruling, the fact that there was no supplemental draft?
I don't think so. I really don't think they dodged a bullet because I don't think that they were hot on the heels of Brendan Sorsby to begin with. I really don't think that they would have bid on him, and if they had bid on him, I think it probably would have been a later round bid, so I don't think that they would have ended up landing him anyways. So I don't think this rocked their world at all, this latest development.
All right, Mary Kay.